We have two wonderful keynote speakers, and we're going to be graced with their presence. First up, we have Riva, who many of you may know from Project by Chronicles. She's also the co-founder of Latina's Acting Pup. She's had a distinguished 2-decade career in TV, film, and theater. She stars as Detective Ana Perez in Netflix's Dead to Me, earning a Screen Actors Guild nomination and an Imagen Award. And she's also been multimedia in Netflix's series Glamorous, because if you haven't noticed, I mean, she's always glamorous. I think they need to hold this for her. Her film credits include Cajillionaire, Noelle, McFarland USA, Love and Mercy, Short Term 12, and Set a Teeth Again. On TV, Riva starred in NBC's telenovela, CBS's Fan of the Plan, earning a People's Choice Award. She's had roles in FX's St. George, Fox's The Good Guys, CBS's Rob, and recurred on Madam Secretary and Everybody Loves Raymond. Discovered by ABC Studios, she starred in Common Law and the ABC7 Stephen Bochco series Philly. Riva received 3 awards for Lifetime Side Order of Mike. And on a personal note, during the strikes, you would also have seen her loud and proud as a Latina. Yes, I said she's the co-founder of Latina's Acting Habit. She acts up for good reasons, because like John Huertas, like multimedia, she believes that our stories get to be told in all of their entirety. So let's see how she's gonna act up today. Please welcome. Thank you. That's a lovely race. I really, all those things that just shows me that I didn't enjoy. Because I had 2 children. Good morning. Good morning. Do you remember this? You can be loud and proud.
Do not get us the microphone. I'm not sure. All the time. I always say we don't whisper. I mean, we do whisper, but we like,
that's a
Mira. It's like when I get off the phone with my mother, I've been in the business for 30 years. My mom knows the drill. When she calls me and I'm set, and I'm on set, and I can't talk, but my phone is in my pocket, cameras are rolling, I have it on, and she's like, oh, let me have it. Well, camera's rolling, just hush it. Yeah, darling, that isn't okay. Faster, get off the phone. But yeah, okay. 30 years later, she's still doing the same thing. And I'm just like, okay, mom, okay. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. For having me here today. It's such a gift and an honor to be here speaking to you and sharing with you my perspective on us and our solidarity, which really came to a big crossing point for me in this last year, as was mentioned before, as co-founder of Latinas Acting Up. I just want to tell you a little bit about how that came to be and how that really sparked the fuse between Lisa, Vidal, and myself. You're going to be hearing from very shortly, and what we wanted to do to start changing the landscape and trajectory of what hasn't happened yet in our community, but from where we stand. Which you might say, like, okay, but in Hollywood, like what? I get it. And you don't need to love Hollywood. There's plenty of people in Hollywood I don't love. But I love us. I love us more than anything else in this world. And I do know that we deserve to be seen and heard. So we can use our platform, if we can use our level of visibility in the industry to highlight us, we're going to do it. When the strike was going on, I was picketing with the writers, and they were some organized people. They've always been organized. They had themes, they had costumes, they had notes that would go out and say, this week we're going to do this, this, and this, and this is why they did so well. When it came to the point that SAG-AFTRA had authorized the vote, I knew, like, we're in trouble. We're not always as organized, we're not always as followed through, and this strike and everything that it stood for and the equity inclusion that it stood for was so important that I was like, we have to do something. We have to make sure that we're there and we hold the line. This is going to be a long haul. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'll come up with a theme. What's a theme? I need a theme.
What?
Latinas, I know Latinas. I know a lot of Latinas. I can do that. So we'll get a group of Latina actresses. We'll call them Latinas acting up. Right? And I took the little side logo, the little man was there, that chocolate. If you haven't seen our logo,
person.
yes, the logo, our partner over here. And then I called the one person in town that I knew knows everybody, and everybody knows her, and she's a gatherer. She's inclusive, and she's been in the business longer than me and has done more than me. And I said, Lisa, I'm creating this group. Would you like to join forces with me? And let's use it as a weekly theme, picket theme. She's like, absolutely, campaign. She didn't hesitate. And from there, we organized our first picket on Friday at Warner Brothers. We sent out a mass email to the Latina Mafia, Vidal, and the industry. And like, hey, Judy right here, hey, this is Vidal, hey, Gloria, hey, like our girls. And we said, this is what we're doing. Friday, we got your t-shirt, show the fuck up. Sorry. And we got we had about 40 of them that were available to come. We get there, there's about well over 70 women. And Lisa and I just looked at each other like, where did all these women come from? They were all Latinas in the industry, from in front or behind the camera. I had started an Instagram page just so that we could post and say we were going to be. Somehow word got out and they showed up. And we were overwhelmed. And we were suddenly a group to be seen and heard. And all of a sudden, the next thing you know, we're choreographing flash dances. And now we're getting message requests. Can you all show up to the Sony lot? Because it's really dead over here. We need like around. Like, we became a band. Like, we got to give it Sony. Paramount's calling us. We got to go to Paramount. And we were being basically booked without money, obviously, to show up and hype up the crowd and keep up the morale. And every Friday for I don't know how many months, 5 months, 4 or 5 months, every single Friday, we showed up at one of those studios, 50, 70 women strong, because, listen, we grew. Flash dancing, shutting down the street or the entrance to the studio, and letting our voices and faces be seen and heard. Now, I'm not saying that the network execs were peering out of their window of the Latinos that here, let's give them the contract they want. We're not saying that they did that, but you know what we did? We kept each other standing, and that got us through the end to get the contract that we felt we were closest to deserving. We deserved more, but we got a lot. We got a lot, and it allowed us to keep going forward. And the biggest thing that came out of it is that all of a sudden, this started happening just 3 weeks into us picketing. Suddenly, we were on the front page of you name it. Hollywood Reporter, Deadline Hollywood, Vogue, Vanity Fair, something in Canada, all the magazines, Remezcla, Hit Record, you name it. And the article could have been about literally, Warner Brothers loses $80 million. There's Lisa and I, you're gonna, all of us, because during Heritage Month, we all wore our bandera de la familia, whatever your family of origin or your country of origin, we all wore our country. Imagine how beautiful that picture was. All of us, 70, 80, 90 women strong from the industry, from in front of and behind the camera, that these people have never seen before. And we have our flags, our bandera, our pride, and we're leading the crowd, we're leading our union, and they put us in the pink. There must be 30 articles about the strike with our picture. And I remember looking at it and saying to Lisa, God, I wish that were indicative of how often you got that. I wish that were indicative of how often that we were leading and co-leading roles. And by the way, in the middle of this, Blue Beetle came out and we sat there and there's this gorgeous picture of all of us marching in front of Warner Brothers with the banderas flying, the Blue Beetle poster. We couldn't say one thing because we were in our mandate that you couldn't come out more. It was our biggest no. We couldn't say anything. And we were standing in front of it saying, but we're going to change so that we don't have to do this again. And that told us, well, look at that. When we get united, when we stand together, they can't take their eyes off of us. They can't help but put us in the front. They can't help but look at us and hear, what are they saying? And they can't help but come and look and say, can you come and you meet us over here? Can you shine a light over here? And Beth, guess what? We haven't been hiding. We are not hard to find. And we're certainly not hard to hear. And we captured all that attention only because we were united. And that told Lisa and me that we needed to do something. And so we created Anita's Acting Up into an official platform. It is now a platform of Latinas in the industry with the mission to raise visibility of Latinas in leadership, because we know that all the actors of all the roles, co-leading roles that make up television and film, Latinos in general make up 4%. The Pacific Asian API make up 11%, and the Black community make up 28%. So that just goes to show you how much, and by the way, that percentage has been that low for that long. So we thought, let's do this because it has a ripple effect. And just to give you some numbers, just so that you can put it into perspective, from 2007 to 2022, 1,600 money-making films. Total amount of characters in those 1,600 films, 62,224 characters, okay? 5.5% of those characters were Latino. 5.5% of 62,000 characters.
Yes.
4% were Latinos. That came at leading and co-leading 75%. 75 characters were leading or co-leading roles for Latinos. And Latinas were 43. We had leading or co-leading roles. Total directors for all those films, 1,785. 5 of them were Latin. Now, I went to an interview recently for this work on the Chronicle, so it was about a year and a half ago. And in the interview, I was in New York, and they're saying, so tell me, what Latina moms did you grow up admiring on TV? And I was like, what?
Exactly.
And then I thought, I'm horrible. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. I'm a bad Latina. I don't know my own people. I don't, and and then I look over to my team and I'm like,
Yeah.
like, there's nobody. Now, look, I know I'm older than most of you in this room, but if you were an 80s kid, I was like, Claire Huxtable, hug me. And then somebody said, Constance Marie, I'm like, hey, I hate to break it to you, but Constance and I are the same age, so that is not someone I grew up with, I remember watching 21 Jump Street and seeing Holly Robinson, who is now Holly Robinson Pete, who had hair like mine, and that made me feel represented. And that was a proud moment for me when I was 11, 12 years old watching that show thinking, I shouldn't be enough because there's a girl on TV and she has girl and point. That's it. That's all I have. Mm-hmm. So what we're trying to do is stimulate the women in our industry, provoke our industry, and really tap into our community to stand together in solidarity, because when we do, we get attention. We get noticed. We don't want any more generations growing up without seeing representations of themselves, of their mothers, of their brothers, of their family, of their tios and tias. And it doesn't mean that it's the exact story that you grew up with, but it's something that should resonate in you. Every other community has those characters, so why shouldn't we? If you think about it, Flaming Hot, why shouldn't Richard Montanez's story be told? A million miles away. Why shouldn't the first Mexican-American astronaut, Jose Hernandez, be told? New Beetle, why shouldn't we play fantastic characters and creatures? Why not? I was saying, well, what do you play? I was like, well, I want to be on horse with a sword, and I don't know. If I can wear armor, I would really like so. There's no different family that's done that, but I want to do that. Like, I'm not in it just for that, but you want to see your face, right? And we do that better with you on our side. I'm not saying you're going to love every single year. I'm not going to say, there's going to be projects that be like, this was not well cast. They needed more Afro-Latinos, but they needed more of this. Yes, not perfect. Let's be like good Latinos and fight about it at home. But in front of everybody else, let's be united. And I know Lisa's probably going to tap into that. What happens when we're not solid, when we're not a united front? We'll tell you from our corporate end of it what happens to us 6 years. And that doesn't mean we need to live servicing that the corporate end of it, but we gotta know how to play this game so that we get to play that rightful space in place that we deserve to take up in this world. Because look at how much we represent. In just a few years, we're going to be 30% of this country. We made a difference in the last election. So whatever we can do to continue amplifying your stories, your faces, your heart, your spirit, which is so, that's my mind. We're going to do it. But we need you in our, and on the team, hoping to do this stuff. So please, thank you for listening. Thank you for letting me share this. I know that I always have to write this down because I know it's kind of how I feel from the bottom of my heart. The more of us we know, the more we grow. The greater we grow, the louder we're heard. The more we are heard, the more visible we become. And we take up our rightful place and space. And we'll do it better and faster to do it together. Thank you very much.
Yes. Yeah, that's like it's just that. Is that?
Let her go. Let her go. Now we'll act it again. Are we going to stand with her? That is the promise. You're my witness. We are standing with you.
Okay.
And we will act up. Next up, we have, oh my goodness. Equally disappointed when Visa Chronicles didn't get renewed. I was looking forward to season 2 of Baker and the Beauty. And like Hollywood, you know? No, but that's okay, because our next keynote speaker is award-winning actress Lisa Vidal, most recognizable for her multi-dimensional roles that she's played in television and film for the past, and I don't even know how this is a number because when you look at her.
That's right.
For the past, I can't even say it, 40 years. Oh my goodness, portraying characters that have reflected the diversity of the Latino community while also building it up because, and what else, Mary Jane, Lee,
Yeah.
no, that's next. And then whew,
The team.
Shameless, Rosewood, CSI, Southland, Chicago PD, at CSI Miami, The Division, Third World, the list goes on and on. It is no wonder that I was like, who am I calling? Lisa. She's gonna know everybody, not only in Hollywood, but in Chicago and New York and Miami, from all sectors of the industry. You're also gonna hear from her more on the Orgullo Stigmas panel. But please, let's give a huge welcome to the co-founder of Latinas Acting Up. We'll see how she's going to act up and what call to action she's going to have for us. Lisa Vidal.
Yay!
Hola, mi gente, ¿cómo están? Oh my God, I'm so happy to be here. I feel so honored that you guys wanted me to speak at this along with my beautiful co-founder, Diana Maria Riva. How lucky am I that I've got this beautiful person and I get to do all this stuff with and struck with and just my partner, honestly. It's a beautiful friendship, it's a beautiful understanding and professionalism and thinking when we bounce off each other. That's a gift. And I think the reason I'm kind of like really pinpointing that is because that is how we need to work together as a community. That is how we need to be with each other. Because for too long, we have been taught to be racist in our own community against each other. From whether your food, your dance, your music, your clothes, your hair, the color of your skin, the way you talk, we have been brainwashed year after year to not be inclusive with each other. Do you all realize that?
Agree.
And I want you to also think about how the powers that be and Hollywood has perpetuated that brainwashing. Okay? For years and years, I know you guys could each go back and remember what you were watching as kids when it came to seeing ourselves in anything. It was always negative. Am I wrong? Okay? So guess what? We get to be part of the new generation where we are being mindful of that. We are paying attention
We are being aware of it. We're also being aware of when people are being divisive in our community. And we get to say, oh, wait a minute, don't do that. Stop doing that. Or I'm not going to take part in that. I'm not going to participate in that because that is actually destructive to all of us. And you know, like Diana said, we are badass.
There are some people.
We are badass. And people are afraid of our power. Do you understand? We have a lot of power. Our community has a lot of power. We have a lot of influence. And we need to own that power. And we need to see that we ourselves have that power within ourselves. We don't need to go out and look for it. We don't need to ask for permission to have power and to be powerful. We have it within ourselves. And we're smart. We're a beautiful community. We are family people. We are hardworking. Our food is fabulous. We got rhythm. All right? We are beautiful people. And we need to own that. And we need to pass that along to our younger generation. We need to teach that. We need to be intentional about teaching that. We have to. We don't have the luxury not to. And so part of the reason why Diana and I felt like Latinas Acting Up needed to become a platform is because being in the industry for 40 years, yes, I started as a child. I was like, Diana, you didn't see my ABC After School special? I mean, I started when I was 14. Was because we knew how hard it was for us coming up and the things that we had to overcome, the things that we had to break through, the stereotypes, the things we had to stand up for in order to say, hey, no, I'm not going to play the prostitute again. You need to find me the doctor was. Yeah. Because I know those women, those Latinas. Yeah. Okay? I know many of the Latinas that are they're hardworking, they're honest women, they're not drug dealer girlfriends, everybody. No. The stereotype was always negative. And having us looking like constantly poverty-stricken like this and, and causing trouble or being needy. It's like, you know what? No. That's enough of that shit. Right? I'm serious. Because that's not serving any of us. It's not serving our community. It is not inspiring our younger generation of Latinos. Okay, we gotta inspire them. Our kids need to feel valuable. Our kids need to feel useful, wanted. We need to do that. It starts at home. We don't need somebody else to do that for us. We don't need to put somebody else in charge of doing that for us. We're going to do it for ourselves. And we're going to dictate how we're going to do it. That's the mentality we need to have. And as a community, guess what? You are all my people. Because the world, guess what? The world doesn't be like, oh, that one's Dominican, oh, that one's Mexican, No, we're all Latinos. Okay? And that's the beauty of us. Look at the diversity in our community. That we get to enjoy all of that, and then we have this beautiful thing that's so in common. Okay? That's part of our character and who we are. It's beautiful. But we first need to love ourselves. We first need to value ourselves. And then it can be that light that shines and nobody's going to dim us. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need to be. And that's how we need to lead, and that's how we need to walk in the world and carry ourselves that way. And yes, we do demand respect. We earned it. We earned a seat at the table. Okay? We've been here a long time. And sometimes they need to be reminded of that. Okay? So me and Diana really felt that the Latinas in the entertainment industry needed to come together and get along. and show solidarity and community in our own industry. There was so much bullshit that she and I grew up with, coming up with. This one talk about this one, pitting us against each other, crabs in a barrel mentality, all of that right there. And it's like, wait a minute, no. We had to learn the hard way, right? Because no one's innocent at some point of doing that or partaking in that, right? We're all guilty of it. But that doesn't mean that there isn't an opportunity to change, to learn. That's the beauty of growth and wisdom, right? It's like, oh shit, we need to do all of that. We can do this. And together we're stronger. And that is something that we realized that our community was desperately in need of. And you know, like Diana says, and I say it too, is that, you know, we have careers. We didn't have to do this. But we saw a need in our community and a call to action. And we knew it was going to not be so easy all the time, right? Because we're also navigating personalities, egos, pride, old mentality shit that we got to try to change, right? But we were willing to take on the task because we love our community and we are desperate to see the change. And you're all part of that change too. You know, we all have a responsibility to step up for each other and our community and make a difference. And to stop the separation with division, the discrimination, this backstabbing, and saying one is less than the other. Because we're not. We're all the same. And we're all valuable. But we all count. And again, we all earned a seat at the table. So, what I say to you is, start having the mindset of intentional action. Which means you're not going around, yeah, let's go see that movie, that's it. No, be intentional. Like, where are the Latinos movie at? Where are the Latino characters at? Where are those stories? And what are those stories? Start having a real opinion about the stories that are being told about you, about your child, about your mother, about your tia, about your grandmother, your brother. Start having an opinion. Because our voices, like Diana was saying, our voices count. Because when we are heard, we are seen. They can't ignore us. And you know we could be loud. You know we are loud. And that's part of our beauty. I remember some people having comments about us, the way we were picketing and like, you know, we were dancing and Diana had a damn boombox. I had a microphone and I was like, that's right. And people have an opinion about that. Oh, you don't look like you're on strike. You don't look like you're suffering, like you're sad. And I was like, bitch. I was like, first of all, you ain't gonna tell me how to strike. I said, see, that's what makes us different, is that you can't take us down. Mm-hmm. We are gonna get louder. We're gonna get bigger. You don't like it, don't watch. Go over there. But this is how we're gonna do it. And we're dictating that. We made that decision for ourselves. We don't need to follow anybody. We are leaders. And that's what we're choosing. We are choosing to lead. In our industry of Latinas, we are choosing to lead this group. You can choose to lead. You don't have to follow nobody. You can choose to decide. You can choose to decide to, I want to start a group. I want to get some of my fellow people together. Strength in numbers, right? What is my purpose going to be? What is my goal? What do I want to see change in my community? This is being intentional, people. This is being intentional. That's what you need to do. That's what we need to do. And we all have a responsibility to do, especially now, right? With everything that's at stake. So that's what I want to leave my beautiful community right here with, is that message. That we can, and we will, and we have to stop putting people down if they don't speak Spanish. We have to stop saying, you're not a real Puerto Rican because you're not from the island. I was like, bitch, ain't nobody more Puerto Rican than me. Come to my house. I'll cook you some arroz con habichuela. They need what? Don't tell me what I am. Let's stop criticizing each other. Let's stop saying, oh no, you're not Latino. Oh, you're not really Afro-Latina. Since when do you get to identify what I am and how I identify? That ain't none of your damn business. It is your business to decide how you want to identify and then take action and do something with it, something good. There's something other than yourselves.
Interesting.
And that is what creates change, people. That is what creates change. And we need change. And we can. We can. Si se puede. ¿Verdad? Si se puede. Eso. So vamos todos unidos, para arriba y para adelante, con fuerza, con orgullo, con amor, con pasión. Porque así somos esta comunidad, esta gente aquí. Todas nosotros somos así. Okay? That is the beautiful, I think that's the most beautiful thing that I feel about being a Latino. Is all of that. And that we all carry that. Our men do too, all of you fabulous guys. Okay? So, get a bathroom together too. All right?
You go back.
That's right. I love it. So I love you guys. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you, to be here, to share this message. And you will all be in my thoughts and prayers to move forward. I hope to be seeing some powerful stuff in your communities.
So,
And